remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion bequeathed me by will but poor 1,000 crowns. And as thou sayest, charge my brother on his blessing to breed me well. And there begins my sadness. My brother Jacques he keeps at school, and report speaks only of his profit. For my part, he keeps me rustically at home. Or to speak more properly, he stays me here at home unkept. For call you that keeping for a gentleman of my birth that differs not from the stalling of an ox? His horses are bred better, but besides that they're fed with their feeding, they are taught their manage, and to that end riders dearly hired. But I, his brother, gain nothing under him but growth, for the which his animals on his dunghills are as much bound him as I. Besides, this nothing that he so plentifully gives me is something that nature gave me, his countenance seems to take from me. He lets me feed with his hinds, bars me the place of a brother, and as much as in him lies, minds my gentility with my education. This is it, Adam, that grieves me. The spirit of my father, which I think is within me, begins to mutiny against his servitude. I will no longer endure it, though yet I know no wise remedy how to avoid it.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Go apart, Adam, and thou shalt hear how he will shake me up.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing. I'm not taught to make anything.
What mar you then, sir?
Marry, sir, I'm helping you to mar that which God made, a poor unworthy brother of yours with idleness.
Marry, sir, be better employed in me, not a while.
Shall I keep your hogs and eat husk with them? What prodigal portion have I spent that I should come to such penury?
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, sir, very well. Here in your orchard.
Know you before whom, sir?
Aye, better than him I am before knows me. I know you're my eldest brother, and in the gentle condition of blood you should so know me. The courtesy of nations allows you, my better, and that you're the firstborn. But the same tradition takes not away my blood, with the 20 brothers betwixt us. I have as much as my father in me as you, albeit I confess your coming before me is nearer to his reverence.
What boy?
Come, elder brother, you're too young in this.
Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I am the youngest son of Sir Roland de Bois. He was my father, and he is thrice of illness, and such a father begot villains. Wert thou not my brother, would not take this hand away from my throat, should this other had pulled out thy tongue for saying so. Thou hast railed on myself.
Oh, sweet masters, be patient. For your father's remembrance, be it accord.
Let me go, I say.
I shall not cry, please. You shall hear me. My father charged you in his will to give me good education. You have trained me like a peasant, obscuring and hiding from me all gentlemanlike qualities. The spirit of my father grows strong within me, and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the poor lottery my father left me by testament. With that I will go by my fortunes.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. I will not long be troubled with you. You shall have some part of your wealth. I pray you leave me.
Shall no further offend you than becomes me for my good.
Get you in, you old dog.
Oh, his old dog, my reward. Most true, I've lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would not have spoken such a word.
Is it even so? Begin you to grow upon me? I will physic your rankness, and yet give no 1,000 crowns neither. Who am I, Dennis?
Call, your worship?
Was not Charles the Duchess Lester here to speak with me?
Oh, so please you. He is at the door and importunes access to you.
Call him in! It will be a good way, and tomorrow the wrestling is.
Good morning to your worship.
Good, Monsieur Charles. What's the new news at the new court?
There's no news at the court, sir, but the old news. That is, the old Duke is banished by his younger sister, the Duchess. 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile with him, whose lands and revenues enrich the Duchess. Therefore, she gives them good leave to wander.
Can you tell if Rosalind, the Duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh, no! For the Duchess's daughter, her cousin so loves her, being ever from their cradles bred together, that she would have followed her exile or have died to stay behind. She is at the court, no less beloved of her aunt than her own daughter, and never 2 ladies loved as they do.
Where will the old Duke live?
They say he's already in the forest of Arden, and a many merry men with him. And there they live, like the old Robin Hood of England. They say many young gentlemen flock to him every day and fleet the time carelessly, as they did in the golden world.
Do you wrestle tomorrow before the Duchess?
May, do I, sir, and I came to acquaint you with a matter. I am given, sir, secretly to understand that your younger brother, Orlando, had the disposition to come in disguised against me to try a fall. Tomorrow, sir, I wrestle for my credit, and he that escapes me without some broken limb shall acquit him well. Your brother is but young and tender, and for your love I would be loath to foil him, as I must for my own honor if he come in. Therefore, out of my love to you, I came hither to acquaint you withal, that either he might stay him from his intendment, or brook such disgrace well as he shall run into, that it is a thing of his own sort, and altogether against my will.
Charles, I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find I will most kindly requite. I had myself notice of my brother's purpose herein, and have, by underhanded means, labored to dissuade him from it, but he is resolute. I'll tell thee, Charles, it is the stubbornest young fellow of France, full of ambition, and envious emulator of every man's good parts, a secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, use thy discretion. I had as lief thou didst break his neck as his finger, and thou wert best look to't. For if thou dost him any slight disgrace, or if he do not mightily grace himself on thee, he will practice against thee by poison, entrap thee by some treacherous device, and never leave thee till he hath tamed thy life by some indirect means or other. For I assure thee, and almost with tears I speak it, there is not one so young and so villainous this day living. I speak but brotherly of him, but should I anatomize him to thee as he is, I must blush and weep, and thou must look pale and wonder.
I am heartily glad I came hither to you. If he come tomorrow, I'll give him his payment. And if ever he go alone again, I'll never wrestle for prize more.
So God keep your worship.
Farewell, good Charles. Now will I stir this gamester, for I hope I shall send him for my soul. Yet I know not why. Hates nothing more than he. Yet he's gentle, never schooled and yet learned, full of noble device, of all sorts enchantingly beloved, and indeed, so much in the heart of the world, and especially my own people who best know him, that I am altogether misprized. But it shall not be so long. This wrestler shall clear all. Nothing remains but that I kindle the boy thither, which now I'll go about.
I pray thee, Rosalind, sweet, my cousin be married.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I'm mistress of, and would you yet I were merrier. Unless you could teach me to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Here, and I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. My uncle, thy banished father, banished thy aunt, the duchess, thy mother, so thou wouldst been still with me. I could have taught my love to take thy father for mine. So wouldst thou. The truth of thy love to me was so righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
Well, I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know my mother hath no child, but I know none is like to have. And truly, when she dies, thou shalt be her heir. What she has taken away from my father perforce, I will render thee again in affection. By mine honor I will, and when I break that oath, let me then turn monster. For my sweet Rose, my dear Rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, cuz, and devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in
Oh,
love?
very pretty do to make sport withal. But love no man in good earnest, nor no further in sport, neither than with the safety of a pure blush. Thou mayst in honor come off again.
Why, what shall be our sport then?
Let us sit and mock the good housewife fortune from her wheel, that her gifts may henceforth be bestowed equally.
I would we could do so, for her benefits are mightily misplaced. The bountiful blind woman doth most mistake in her gifts to women.
'Tis true, for those that she makes fair, she scarce makes honest. And those that she makes honest, she makes very ill-favoredly.
Nay, now thou goest from fortune's office to nature's. A fortune reigns in the gifts of the world, not the lineaments of nature.
No? What nature hath made? Fair creature, may she not by fortune fall into the fire? Nature hath given us a wit, clouded fortune. Hath not fortune sent in this fool to cut off the argument?
Indeed, there is fortune too hard for nature. When fortune makes nature's natural to cut her off of nature's wit.
Peradventure, this is not fortune's work neither, but nature's. Oh, perceive it are natural wits. Too dull to reason, as such goddesses has sent in this natural for a whetstone. For always the dullness of the fool is the whetstone of the wits. How now, wit? Whither wander you?
Mistress, you must come away to your mother.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honor, but I was bid to come for you.
Where learned you that oath?
fool? Of a certain knight who swore by his honor the pancakes were good, and swore by his honor the mustard was not. Now I'll stand to it. The pancakes were not, and the mustard was good, and yet was not the knight forsworn.
How prove you that in the great heap of your knowledge?
I marry now and muzzle your wisdom.
Stand you both forth now. Stroke your chins, and swear by your beards that I am a knave.
By our beards, if we had them, thou art.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that is not, you are not forsworn. No more was this knight swearing by his honor, for he never had any. Or if he had, he'd sworn it away before ever you saw those pancakes or that mustard.
Really, who is it thou means?
One that old Francis, your mother, loves.
My mother's love is enough to honor him. And speak no more, or you'll be whipped for taxation one of these days.
More pity that fools may not speak wisely, but wise men do foolishly.
Thou sayest true. For since the little wit that fools have was silence, the little foolery that wise men have makes a great show. Here comes Monsieur Lebeau, with his mouth full of news. Monsieur, put on us as pigeons feed their young.
Why then shall we be news crabs?
The better we should be, the more marketable. Bonjour, Monsieur Lebeau. What's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost sight of much sport.
Sport? What color?
Color, madam. How shall I answer you?
As wit and fortune
Or is
will.
the destiny's decree?
Well said. That was laid on with the trowel.
Hey, if I keep not my rank.
Thou losest thy old smell.
Ladies, you amaze me. I would have told you of much good wrestling which you have lost the sight of.
Yet tell us the manner of the wrestling.
Well, I'll tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyships, you may see the end. For the best is yet to do, and here where you stand, they are coming to perform it.
Oh, the beginning, that is dead and buried.
There comes an old man and his 3 sons.
I can match this beginning with an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence.
With bills on their necks, be it known unto all men by these presents.
The eldest of the 3 did wrestle with Charles, the Dutchman's wrestler, in which Charles in a moment did throw him, breaking 3 of his ribs, so that there is little hope of life in him. So did he serve the 2nd and then the 3rd. Yonder they lie, the poor old man, their father, making such pitiful dole over them that all the beholders join in his weeping.
Alas! But what is the sport, monsieur, that the ladies have lost?
Why, this that I speak of.
Thus may men grow wiser every day. It is the first time that ever I heard breaking of ribs was sport for ladies.
I promise thee. But is there any else wants to see this stroke of music in his sides? Is there yet another dotes on rib breaking? Now we see this wrestling, cuz.
You must if you stay here, for here's the appointed place for the wrestling, and they are ready to perform it.
Oh, yonder, surely. Let us now stay and see it.
Come on, since the youth will not be treated, his own peril and his forwardness.
Is yonder the man?
Even he, madam.
Alas, he is too young. Yet he looks successfully.
How now, daughter and cousin? Are you crept hither to see the wrestling?
My lady, so please you give us leave.
You will find little delight in it. I can assure you there are such odds in this man. In pity of the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, because he will not be entreated. Speak to him, lady. See if you can move him.
Call him hither, good Monsieur Lebeau.
Do so, I'll be not bound.
Monsieur, the challenger, the princess calls for you.
Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
No, fair princess. He is the general challenger. I come but in his other suit to try with him the strength of my youth.
Gentlemen, your spirit has no years. I've seen cruel proof of this man's strength. If you saw yourself with your eyes, knew yourself with your judgment, the fear of your adventure would counsel you to a more equal enterprise. We pray you, for your own sake, to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir. Your reputation shall not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duchess that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech your grace, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial, wherein if I be foiled, there is but one shame that was never gracious. If killed, but one dead that is willing to be so. I shall do my friends no harm, for I have none to lament me. Well, no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in the world do I fill up a space, which may be better supplied once I've made it empty.
The little strength I have, I would it were with you.
And mine to eke out hers.
Fare you well. Pray heaven I be deceived in you.
May your heart's desires be with you.
Come, where's this young gallant that is so desirous to lie with his mother Earth?
Ready, sir. But his will have in it. More modest working.
You shall try but one fall.
Nay, I warrant your grace you shall not entreat him to a second that has so mightily persuaded him from a first.
You mean to mock me after. You should not have mocked me before. But come your ways.
Young man.
Yes, I beseech your grace. I'm not yet well breathed.
How does that, Charles?
He cannot speak, my lady.
What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my lady. Youngest son of Sir Roland de Boys.
I would thou hadst been son to some man else. The world esteemed thy father honorable. But I did find him still mine enemy. Thou shouldst have better pleased me with this deed hadst thou descended from another house. But fare thee well, thou art a gallant youth. I would thou hadst told me of another father.
Why, my mother, cause would I do this?
I am more proud to be Sir Roland's son, his youngest son, and would not change that calling to be adopted to our Francis.
My father loved Sir Roland as his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I before known this young man his son, I would have given him tears into entreaties ere he should thus affection.
Little cousin, let us go. Encourage him and thank him. My mother's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Sir, you have well deserved. If you do keep all promises in love, but as justly as you've exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentlemen, wear this for me. One out of suits with fortune I could give more, but that we had not the means. Will you go, Cuz?
Aye. Fare you well, fair gentlemen.
Can I not say I thank you? My better parts are all thrown down, and that which here stands up is but a quintain, a mere lifeless block.
He calls us back. My pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he would. Did you call, sir? Sir, you have wrestled well. And overthrown more than your enemies.
Where you go, Cuz?
I'm with you. Fare you well.
What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue? I cannot speak to her, yet she earns conference. Oh, poor Orlando, thou art overthrown. Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place, albeit you have deserved high commendation true applause and love. Yet such is the Duchess' condition. She misconstrues all that you have done. The Duchess is humorous. What she is indeed more suits you to conceive than I to speak of.
I thank you.
And pray you tell me this. Which of the two is the daughter of the Duchess? Neither her daughter, if we judge by manners. But indeed, the smaller is her daughter. The other is daughter to the banished Duke, here detained by her usurping aunt to keep her daughter's company, whose loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. But I can tell you of late, this Duchess has tamed displeasure with her gentle niece, grounded on no other argument except that the people praise her for her virtues and pity her for her father's sake. And on my life, her malice towards the young lady will suddenly break forth. Sir, fare thee well. Hereafter, in a better world than this, I shall desire much love and knowledge of you. I rest much bound into you. Fare you well. Thus must I from the smoke into the smother, from tyrant Duchess to tyrant brother. But heavenly Rosalind.
Rosalind, you could have mercy, not a word.
Not one to throw to dog.
No, thy words are too precious to be thrown away upon curs. Come, throw some of them at me. Blame me with reasons.
Why, then there were two cousins laid up when one should be lamed with reasons and the other mad without any.
But is all this for your father?
No, some of it's for my child's father. Oh, how full of pride is this working day world.
They are but verse cousin thrown upon in holiday foolery. We walk not the trodden paths, our very petticoats will catch them.
I could shake them off my coat. These verses are in my heart.
Send them away.
I would try if I could cry hem and have him.
Come, come, wrestle with thy affections.
They take the part of a better wrestler than myself.
Good wish upon you. He'll try in time in despite of the fall. Turning these jests out of service, let's talk in good earnest. Is it possible, on such a sudden, you should fall into so strong a liking with old Sir Roland's youngest son?
The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
But therefore it's due that you should love his son dearly. By this kind of chase, I should hate him, for my mother hated his father dearly.
Yet I hate
Not Orlando.
no faith, hate him not for my sake.
Why should I not? Doth he not deserve well?
Oh, let me love him for that. And do you love him because I do? Look, here comes the Duchess.
Their eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch you with your samest hate and get you from our court.
Me?
You cousin, within these 10 days, if thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace, let me the knowledge of my faults bear with me. If myself I hold intelligence or have acquaintance with mine own desires, if that I do not dream nor be not frantic, as I do trust I am not. Oh, dear aunt, never so much as in a thought unborn did I offend your highness.
Ha! Thus do all traitors. If their purgation did consist in words, they are as innocent as grace itself. Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me a traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihood depends.
Thou art thy father's daughter. There's enough.
So was I when your highness took his dukedom. So was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lady. Or if we did derive it from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor. Therefore, good my lady, mistake me not so much to think my poverty is treacherous.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her here for your sake, else had she with her father ranged along.
Did not then entreat to have her stay? Was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young then to have to value her, but now I know her. If she be a traitor, why so am I. We had still slept together, rose at an instant, learned, played, eat together, and wheresoever we went, still like Juno's swans, we went coupled and inseparable.
She is too subtle for thee, and her smoothness, her very silence and her patience speak to the people, and they pity her. Thou art a fool, she robs thee of thy name. Thou wilt show more bright and seem more virtuous when she is gone. Then open not thine lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom which I have passed upon her. She is banished.
To pronounce that sentence said on me, my lady. I cannot live out of her company.
You are a fool. You needs provide yourself. If you outstay the time upon mine honor and in the greatness of my word, you die.
Oh, my poor Rosalind. If thou go without shaking parents, I will give thee mine. Charge thee, be not more grieved than I am. I have more cause, have not. Really, be cheerful. Dost thou not know the Duchess hath banished me, her daughter? That she hath not. No. Hath not? Rosalind lacks then the love which teaches me that thou and I am one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part with good? No, let my mother seek another heir. Therefore, devise with me how we may fly, whither to go, what to bear with us. But do not seek to take your charge upon you, to bear your griefs yourself, and to leave me out. By this heaven, now when our sorrows pale, so as thou canst, I'll go along with thee. What, whither shall we go? Seek out my uncle in the forest of Arden. Alas, what danger will it be to us maids as we are, to travel forth so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold. I will put myself in poor and mean attire, and with a kind of unbesmirch my face, the like to you, and so we shall pass along and never stir assailants. Were it not better, since I'm more than common tall, that I can suit me all points like a man, a gallant curtalax upon my thigh, a boar spear in my hand, and in my heart lie there what hidden women fear their will. We'll have a swashing and a martial outside, as many other managed cowards have that do outface it with their substance. What shall I call thee when thou art a man? I'll have no worse name than Job's own page. Therefore, look you call me Gannon. But what shall you be called? Something that hath a reference to my state. No longer Celia, but Aliena. But cousin, what if we essayed to steal the clownish fool out of your mother's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travels? Oh, you go along with the wide world with me. Leave me alone, Julie. Let's get our jewels and our wealth together, devise the fittest time and the safest way to hide us from pursuit that we made after my flight. Now we go in content to liberty and not to banishment.
And made this life more sweet than that of painted palm? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Why, here feel we but the penalty of Adam, a season's difference as the icy fang and churlish chiding of the winter's wind, which, when it bites and blows upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors that feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in his head. And this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and sweet a style.
Come, shall we go kill us venison? And yet it irks me, the poor dappled fools, being native burghers of this desert city, should in their own confines, with 4 tents, have their round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord the melancholy Jaques grieves at that, and in that kind swears that you do more usurp than doth your sister that hath banished you. Today my lord of Amiens and myself did steal behind him as he lay along under an oak, whose antique roof peeps out upon the brook that brawls along this wood. To the which place a poor sequestered stag that from the hunter's aim had ta'en a hurt did come to languish. But indeed, my lord, the wretched animal heaved forth such groans that their discharge did stretch his leathern coat almost to bursting. And the big round tears coursed one another down his innocent nose in piteous chase. And thus the hairy fool, much marked the melancholy Jaques, stood at the extremest verge of the swift brook, augmenting it with tears.
But what said Jaques? Did he not moralize a spectacle?
Oh, yes, into 1,000 similes. First, for his weeping into the needless stream. Poor dear, quoth he, thou makest a testament, as worldlings do, giving thy some of more to that which has too much. Then, being alone, left and abandoned of his velvet friends. 'Tis right, quoth he, thus misery doth part the flux of company. Anon a careless herd, fat and full of the pasture, jumps along by him and never stays to greet him. Aye, quoth Jaques, sweep on, you fat and greasy citizens. 'Tis just the fashion. Wherefore do you look upon this poor and broken bankrupt there? Thus, most invectively, he pierceth through the body of the contrary, the city, the court. Yea, and this, our life, swearing that we are mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals and kill them up in their assigned and native dwelling place.
And did you leave him in this contemplation?
We did, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the sound.
Come, show me the place. I love to coax him in these sullen fits, for then he's full of matter.
I'll bring you to him straight.
Oh, can it be possible that no man saw them? That cannot be. Some villains of my court are of consent and sufferance in this.
I cannot hear of any that did see her, my lady. Well, the ladies, her tenants of her chamber saw her abed, and then in the morning early they found the bed untreasured of their mistress.
Milady, the royalist clown who saw her grace was wont to laugh is also missing. Hesperia, the princess gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler that did but lately foil the Henry Charles. And she believes that wherever they are, God
Send to his brother. Fetch that gallant hither. If he be absent, bring his brother to me. I'll make him find him. Do this suddenly, and let not search or inquisition quail to bring again these foolish runaways.
Who's there?
What? Oh, my young master. Oh, my gentle master. Oh, my sweet master. Oh, you memory of all sorrows. Why, what make you here? Why are you gentle? Why are you valiant? And wherefore you gentle, strong, and true? Why would you be so fond to overcome the bonny prizer of the humorous touches? Your praises come too swiftly home before you. Know you not to some kinds of men their graces serves them but as enemies? Your virtues, gentle master, are holy and sanctified traitors to you. Oh, what a world is this woman as comely envenoms him that bears it.
Why? What's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth. Come not within these doors, within this house, within this roof. The enemy of all your graces lives. Your brother. No, brother, yet the son. Yet not the son. I will not call him son. If him I was about to call his father hath heard your praises. And this night he means to burn the lodging where you used to lie. And you within it. If he fail of that, he'll have other means to cut you off. I overheard him in his practices. Oh, this is no house. This place is but a butchery. Abhor it. Fear it. Do not enter it.
Why, whither, Adam, wouldst thou have me go?
No matter whither, so you come not here.
Wouldst thou have me go and beg my food? Or with a base and boisterous sword and force a thievish living upon the common road? This I must do, I know not what to do. Yet this I will not do how I can. And rather will subject me to the malice of a diverted blood and bloody brother.
But do not so. I have 500 crowns. The thrifty hire which I did save unto your father, which I did store to be my foster nurse when service should in my old limbs lie lame, and unregarded age in corners thrown. Take that, and he that doth the ravens feed, yea, providently caters to the sparrow, be comfort to my age. Here is the gold. All this I give you. Let me go with you. Though I look old, yet I am strong and lusty. For in my youth never did I apply hot and rebellious liquors in my blood, nor did not with unbashful forehead woo the means of weakness and debility. Therefore my age is as a lusty winter, frosty but kindly. Let me go with you. I'll do the service of a younger man in all your business and necessities.
Oh, good old man. How well in thee appears the constant service of the antique world, when service sweat for duty, not for meed. Thou art not for the fashion of these times, well, none will sweat prefer promotion. And having that, do choke their service up even with the having. Yet it is not so with thee. But poor old man, thou prunest a rotten tree, and cannot so much as a blossom yield in lieu of all thy pains in husbandry. But come my ways, we'll go along together, and ere we have thy youthful wages spent, we'll light upon some settled low content.
Oh, master, go on, and I will follow thee to the last gasp with truth and loyalty. From 17 years till now, almost 80 years lived I, but now live here no more. At 17 many their fortune seek, but at 80 'tis too late a week. Yet fortune cannot recompense me better than to die well, and not my master's debtor.
Jupiter, how weary are my spirits.
I care not for my spirits if my legs were not weary.
I can find it in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and to cry like a woman. But I must comfort the weaker vessel, as doublet and hose ought to show itself courageous to petticoat. Therefore, courage, good Aliena. I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For my part, I had rather bear with you than bear you. Yet I should bear no cross if I did bear you, for I think you have no money in your purse.
Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Aye, now I am in Arden, the more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
I be so good, Touchstone. You come, sir. A young man and old. Follow me back.
That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Corn, that thou knewest how I do love her.
I partly guess, for I have loved ere now.
No, Corn, being old, thou canst not guess. Though in thy youth thou wast as true a lover as ever sighed upon a midnight pillow, but if thy love were ever like to mine, as sure I think did never a man love so, how many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
To 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Thou didst never love so hardly. If thou rememberest not the slightest folly that ever love did make thee run into, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not sad as I do now, wearing thy hair in thy mistress' praise, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not broke from company abruptly, as my passion now makes me, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe!
Alas, poor shepherd, searching of thy wound, as thy heart adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love, I broke my sword upon a stone and bid him take that for coming a night to Jane's smile. And I remember the kissing of her batlet and of the cow's dugs that her pretty chopped hands had milked. And I remember the wooing of a peace god instead of her, from whom I took 2 cards, and giving her them back again, said with weeping tears, wear these for my sake. We that are true lovers run into strange capers, but as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature in love mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art ware of.
Nay, I shall never be ware of mine own wit, till I break my shins against it.
Jove, Jove. Oh, the shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And mine, but it grows something stale with me.
Pray you, one of you question yon man if you for food give me money. I almost made to death.
Hola, you clown!
He's fool, he's not my kinsman.
Calls.
You're better, sir!
That's not a very wretched.
Peace, I say. A good evening to you, friend.
To you, gentle sir, and to you all.
I prithee, shepherd, if that love or gold can in this desert place by entertainment bring us where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here's a young maid with travel much oppressed and faints for succor.
Fair sir, I pity her and wish for her sake more than for mine own my fortunes were more able to. But I am shepherd to another man, and do not shear the fleeces that I graze. My master is of churlish disposition, and little recks to find the way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, His coat, his flocks, and bounds of feet are now on sale, and at our sheepcote now, by reason of his absence, there is nothing that you will find. But what is, come see, and in my voice most welcome shall you be.
What is he that shall buy the flock and pasture?
That young swain you saw here but erewhile, that little cares for buying anything.
I prithee, shepherd, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage pasture and the flock, and thou shalt have to pay for it of us.
And you mend thy wages, for I like this place, and could willingly waste my time in it.
Sure, the thing is to be sold. If you like, upon report, the soil, the profit, and this kind of life, I will your very faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
To the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me, and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither, come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall we see no enemy, but winter and rough weather.
More, I prithee, more.
His voice is ragged. I know he cannot please
I
you.
do not desire him to please me. More, I prithee, more. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More, I prithee, more.
It will make you melancholy, Monsieur Jacques.
I think it. More, Coram. Another stanzo. I call you stanzos.
What you will, Monsieur Jacques.
Nay, I care not for their names. They owe me nothing. Will you sing?
More to please you than to please himself.
Well, if ever I thank any man, I'll thank you. But that they call compliments is like the encounter of two dog apes, and when a man thanks me heartily, methinks I've given him a penny, and he renders me the beggarly thank. Come, sing, and you that will not, hold your tongue.
Well, he'll end the song. Sirs, cover the while. The Duke shall drink under this tree. He has spent this day to look you.
And I spent all this day to avoid him. He is too disputable for my company. I think on as many matters as he, yet I give heaven thanks and make no boast of them. Come, warble, come.
Who doth ambition shun, and loves to live in the sun, seeking the food he eats and pleased with what he gets. Come hither, come hither, come hither, come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall we see no enemy, but winter and rough weather.
And now I'll give you a verse to this note that I wrote yesterday in despite of my invention.
And he'll sing it?
Thus it goes. If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, Duke Dame, Duke Dame, Duke Dame. There shall he see gross fools as he, and if he will come with me.
What's that Duke Dame?
'Tis a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle. Nay, then, I'll sleep, my man. If I cannot, I'll rail on all the firstborn of Egypt.
And we'll go seek the Duke. His banquet is prepared.
Master, dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Here lie down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind master.
Wow, now, Adam, no greater heartily? Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. Promise yield anything, savage. Either be food for it, or bring it for food to thee. Thy conceit is nearer death than thy powers.
Oh, for my sake, be comfortable.
Oh, death of our arm's end. I'll there be with thee presently. And if I bring thee not something to eat, then I will give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before I come, thou art a mocker of my labor. Well said. I'll be with thee quickly. Bet. Thou liest in the bleak air. Come, bear thee to some shelter, and thou shalt not die for lack of dinner if there live anything in this forest. Surely, good Adam.
I think he be transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find him like a man.
My lord, he's but even now gone hence. Here he was merry, hearing of a song.
If he come packed with jars for a musical, we shall have surely discorded the spheres. Go seek him, tell him I would speak with him.
He saves my labor with his own approach.
Why, how now, monsieur, what a life is this? Your poor friends must rue your company. What? You look merrily.
A fool! I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool. Ah, miserable world. As I do live by food, I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms, in good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he, call me not fool till heaven hath sent me fortune. And then he drew a dial from his poke, and looking on it with lackluster eyes, says very wisely, it is 10 o'clock. Thus we may see, says he, how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour since it was 9, after 1 hour more 'twill be 11. And so, from hour to hour we write, and then from hour to hour we rot. And thereby hangs a tale. When I did hear the fool thus moral on the time, my lungs began to crow like chanticleer that fools should be so deep contemplative. And I did laugh. Sans intermission, an hour by his dial. Oh, noble fool. Oh, worthy fool. Motley's the only wear.
What fool is this?
Oh, worthy fool. Huh? One who's been a courtier and says, if ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it. And in his brain, which is as dry as the remainder of biscuit after a voyage, he has strange places crammed with odd observations, which he vents in mangled forms. Oh, that I were a fool. Now, I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
It is my only suit, provided that you weed your better judgment of all opinion that grows rank in them that I am wise. I must have liberty withal, as large a charter as the wind to blow on whom I please, for so fools have. And they that are most galled with my folly, they most must laugh, and wiser must they so. The wise claim his way to parish and church. He that a fool doth very wisely hit, doth very foolishly, although he smart, not to seem senseless of the bob. If not, the wise man's folly is anatomized even by the squandering glances of the fool. Invest me in my motley, give me leave withal, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if they will patiently receive my medicine.
Finally, I can tell what thou wouldst do.
What, for a counter, would I do but good?
Oh, most mischievous foul sin, in chiding sin. For thou thyself hast been a libertine, as sensual as the brutish thing itself. And all the embossed sores and headed evils that thou with license of free foot hast caught, wouldst thou disgorge into the general world.
Why, who cries out on pride that can there and tax any private party? Doth it not flow as hugely as the sea, till the wearer's very means do ebb? What woman in the city do I name when I say the city woman bears the cost of princes on unworthy shoulders? Who can come in and say that I mean her, when such a one is she, such is her neighbor, or who is he? A basest function that says, whose bravery's not on my cross, thinking that I mean him, but thereby suits his folly to the metal of my speech. There. How then? What then? Let me see wherein my tongue hath wronged him. If it do him right, why then he hath wronged himself. If he be free, why then my taxing like a wild goose flies, unclaimed of any man. But who comes here?
Forbear, I need no more!
Why, I have eaten none yet.
Nor shall not to necessity be served.
What time should this cock come of?
Art thou thus bold, man, by thy distress? Or else a rude despiser of good manners, that incivility thou seemst so empty?
You touched my vein at first. The thorny point of bare distress hath tamed me from a show of smooth civility. Yet I am inland bred and know some nurture. But forbear, I say! These eyes as much as any of its fruit shall mind my bear for answer.
Then you will not be answered with reason. I must die.
What would you have? Your gentleness shall force, more than your force, move us to gentleness.
I must die for food. Let me have it.
Then sit down and feed, and welcome to our table.
Speak you so gently? Pardon me, I pray you. I thought all things had been savage here, and therefore put on the countenance of stern commandment. But whene'er you are in this desert inaccessible, under the shade of melancholy boughs, lose and neglect the creeping hours of time. If ever thou hast looked on better days, if ever sat where bells have knolled to church, if ever sat at any good man's feast, if ever from your eyelids wiped a tear, know what 'tis to pity and be pitied, let gentleness my strong enforcement be, in the which hope I blush and hide my sword.
True is it that we have seen better days, and have with holy bell been knolled to church, and sat at good men's feasts, and wiped our eyes of drops that sacred pity hath engendered, and therefore sit you down in gentleness, and take upon command what help we have, that to your wanting may be ministered.
And then but forbear your food a while, whiles like a doe I go to find my fawn and give it food. There is a poor old man who after me hath many a weary step, limped in pure love, till he be first sufficed, pressed with two weak evils, age and hunger. I shall not touch a bit.
Then go find him out, and we will nothing waste till you return.
I thank you, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the one wherein we played.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. And they have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. As first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. And then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. And then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, with bare round belly, with good cape and lined, eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws, modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th stage shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, spectacles on nose, pouch on side. His youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank. His big, manly voice, turning again towards childish treble, pipes, and whistles in the sound. Last scene of all, which ends this strange, eventful history, is singing childishness, mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome. Sit down, your venerable burden, and let him feed.
I thank you most for him.
So what do you need? I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Welcome. Fall to. I will not trouble you with yet. Give us some music, and good cousins, sing.
Blow, blow the winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen because thou the green holly,
If that you were the good Sir Roland's son, as you have whispered faithfully, and as mine eye doth its effigious witness, which truly lived and living in your face, be truly welcomed hither. I am the Duke that loved your father. The residue of your fortune, go to my cave and tell me. Support him by the arm. Give me your hand and let me all your
Not see him since. Oh, sir, that cannot be. But were I not the better part, maid Mercy, I should not seek an absent argument of my revenge thou present, but look to it.
Find out thy brother, wheresoever he is, seek him with candle, bring him dead or living within this 12 month, or turn thou no more to seek a living in our territory. Thy lands and all things that thou dost call thine worth seizure, we do seize into our hands, till thou canst quit thee by thy brother's mouth, of that we think against thee.
Oh, the dryness in my heart in this. I never loved my brother in my life.
Poor villain thou. Well, push him out of doors and let my officers of such a nature make an extent upon his house. Do this expediently and turn him going.
Hang there my verse in witness of my love. And now thrice crowned queen of night, survey with thy chaste eye from thy pale sphere above. Thy huntress name that my full life doth sway. O Rosalind, these trees shall be my books. In their barks my thoughts all character, that every eye which in this forest looks shall see thy virtue witnessed everywhere. Run, O land, O carve on every tree, the fair, the chaste and unexpressive she.
Truly, shepherd, in respect of itself, it is a good life. In respect that it is a shepherd's life, it is not. In respect that it is private, I like it very well. But in respect that it is solitary, it is a very vile life. Now, in respect it is in the fields, it pleaseth me well. But in respect it is not in the court, it is tedious. As it is a spare life, look you, it fits my humor well. But as there is no more... It goes much against my stomach. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
No more but that I know, the more one sickens, the worse at ease he is. And that he that wants money, means, and content is without three good friends. That the property of rain is to wet, and fire to burn. That good pasture makes fat sheep. And that a great cause of the night is lack of the sun. That he that hath learned no wit by nature nor art may complain of good breeding, or comes of a very dull kindred.
Such a one is a natural philosopher. Wast ever in court, shepherd?
No, truly.
Then thou art damned.
Nay, I hope.
Truly thou art damned, like an ill-roasted egg, all on one side.
For not being at court? Your reason.
Why, if thou never wast at court, thou never sawest good manners. And if thou never sawest good manners, then thy manners must be wicked. And wickedness is sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a parlous state, shepherd.
Not a whit, Touchstone. Those that are good manners at the court are as ridiculous in the country as the behavior of the country is most mockable at the court. You told me you salute not at the court, but kiss your hands. That courtesy would be uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds.
Instance, briefly. Come, instance.
Why, we are still handling our ewes, and their fells, you know, are greasy.
Why, do not your courtiers' hands sweat? And is not the grease of mutton as wholesome as the sweat of a man? Shallow. Shallow, a better instance, I say. Come.
Besides, our hands are hard.
Your lips will feel them the sooner. Shallow again. A more sounder instance. Come.
And they are often tarred over with the surgery of our sheep. And would you have us kiss tar? The courtier's hands are perfumed with civet.
Most shallow man, thou worms meet in respect of a good piece of flesh indeed. Learn of the wise, and perpend, civet is of a baser birth than tar, the very uncleanly flux of a cat. And the instant, shepherd.
You have too courtly a wit for me, I'll rest.
Wilt thou rest, damned? God help thee, shepherd. God make incision in thee, thou art raw.
Sir, I am a true laborer. I earn that I eat, and I get that I wear. I owe no man hate. I envy no man's happiness. I'm glad of other men's good and content with my harm. And the greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suffer.
That is another simple sin in you, to bring the ewes and the rams together and to offer to get your living by the copulation of cattle, to be bought to a bellwether, and to betray a she-lamb of 12 months to a crooked-pated old cuckoo ram out of all reasonable match. Thou beest not damned for this, the devil himself will have no shepherds. I cannot see how else thou shouldst escape.
Here comes young Master Ganymede, my new mistress's brother.
From east to western wind, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind, through all the world bears Rosalind. All the pictures fairest lined are but black to Rosalind. Let no face be kept in mind, but the fair of Rosaline.
I will run you so 8 years together, dinners and suppers and sleeping hours accepted. It is the right but a woman's right to market.
Out, fool.
For a taste. If a heart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosaline. The cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosaline. Winter garments must be lined, so must slender Rosaline. They that reap must sheep and bind, then to card with Rosaline. Sweetest nut hath sourest rind, such a nut is Rosaline. He that sweetest rose will find, must find love's prick and Rosaline. This is the very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peace, you dumb fool. I found them on a tree.
Truly, the tree yields bad fruit.
Grab it with you, and then I shall grab it with the meddler. Then will be the earliest fruit in the season, for you'll be rotten ere you be half ripe, and that's the right virtue of a meddler.
You have said, but whether wisely or no, let the forest judge.
Oh, peace. Here comes my sister reading.
Why should this a desert be, for it is unpeopled? No, tongues all hang on every tree. That shall civil saying show. Somehow brief the life of man runs his erring pilgrimage, that the stretching of a span buckles in a sum of age. Some of violated vows twixt the souls of friends to friend, but upon the fairest vows or every sentence end, will I Rosalinda write, teaching all that read to know the quintessence of every sprite heaven would in little show. Therefore, heaven nature charged that one body should be filled with all graces. Why, enlarged. Nature presently distilled Helen's cheek, but not her heart. Cleopatra's majesty, Atalanta's better part. Sad Lucretia's modesty. Thus, Rosalind of many parts by heavenly sign it was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts. To have the touch his dearest prize. Heaven would that she these gifts should have, and I to live and die her slave.
Patience, most gentle pulpiter. What tedious homily of love have you wearied your parishioners withal, and ever cried, have patience, good people?
Oh no! Back, friends. Shepherd, go off a little. Go with them, sirrah.
Come, shepherd, let us make an honorable retreat. Though not with bag and baggage, yet with scrip and scripted.
Did thou hear these verses? Oh, yes, I heard them all, and more, too. For some of them had in them more feet than the verses could bear.
But that's no matter, the feet might bear the verse.
Aye, but the feet were lame, and could not bear themselves without the verse, and therefore stood lamely within the verse.
But didst thou hear, without wondering, how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees?
Oh, I was 7 of the 9 days out of wonder before you came. But look here what I found on a palm tree. But I was never sober rhyme since Pythagoras' time I was an Irish rat, which I can hardly remember.
True you have done this,
Mr. Man.
and a chain that you once wore about his neck. Change you color?
I prithee who?
Oh, Lord, it is a hard matter for friends to meet, but mountains may move by earthquakes and so encounter.
Nay, but who is it?
Is it possible?
Nay, I prithee now with most petitionary vehemence. Tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, wonderful, and again, wonderful. And after that, out of all hoping.
My complexion. Dost thou think on comparison like a man? I've a doublet and hose in my disposition. Oh, 1 inch more. Delay is a self-fee of discovery. I prithee, tell me who it is quickly and speak apace. wish thou could stammer that thou mightst pour this concealed man out of my mouth as wine comes out of a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I prithee take the cork out of thy mouth, that I may drink of thy tidings.
So you may put a man in your belly?
Is he of God's making? What manner of man is his head worth a hat, or his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but a little beard.
Why, God will send more if the man be thankful. Let me stay the girth of his beard, if thou lay me not in the knowledge of his chin.
His young Orlando that tripped up the rustler's heels and your heart, both in an instant.
The devil take mocking. Speak sad, brow and true maid.
Faith, Ghost, is he? Orlando! Orlando! Oh, alas the day! Oh, what shall I do with my doublet and hose?
Oh, what did he when thou sawest him? What said he? How looked he? Where went he? What makes he here? And didn't ask for me? Where remains he? How parted he with thee? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word!
You must bar me Gargantua's mouth first. It's a word too big for any mouth of this age's size. To say I note of these particulars is more than to answer to catechism.
But doth he know that I'm in this forest? Oh, and in man's apparel. Looks he as freshly as he did the day he wrestled.
It is easy to count enemies as to resolve the propositions of a lover. But take a taste of my finding and relish it. Good observant. I found him under a tree like a dropped acorn.
It may well be called Jove's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Oh, give me audience, good madam.
Proceed.
There he lay, stretched along like a wounded knight.
There would be pity to see such a sight get well becomes the ground.
Cry, hold on to thy tongue. I prithee, it curveth unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous. He comes to kill my heart.
I would sing my song. That brings me out of tune.
Do you not know that I'm a woman when I think I must speak? Say on.
Bring me out. Soft. Comes he not here?
'Tis his mine, oh,
I thank you for your company. But good faith, I had as lief been myself alone.
And so would I. But yet for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
I do desire we may be better strangers.
I pray you, mar no more trees by writing love songs on their barks.
I pray you, mar no more of my verses with reading them ill-feveredly.
Rosalind's your love's name.
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
Of what stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
You are full of pretty answers. Yet have you not been acquainted with goldsmiths' wives and conned them out of rings?
Not so. But I answer you right, Pennycloth, from whence you have studied your question.
You've a pretty wit. I think 'twas made of Atalanta's hills. Will you not sit down with me? And we two will rail against our mistress, the world, and all our misery.
I will chide no breather in the world except myself, against whom I know most faults.
The worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis a fault I will not change for thy best virtue. I am weary of you.
By my faith, I was looking for a fool when I found you.
He is drowned in the brook. Look but in and you shall see him.
There shall I see mine own figure.
Which I take for either a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I'm glad of your departure. Adieu, good Monsieur Melancholy.
I'm like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave with him. Do you hear, Forrester?
Very well. What would you?
I pray you, what is the clock?
You should ask me what time of day. There's no clock in the forest.
then there's no true lover in the forest. Now sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as the clock.
And why not the swift foot of time? Had not that been his proper?
By no means, sir. Time travels at diverse paces with diverse persons. I'll tell you who time ambles withal, who time trots withal, who time gallops withal, and who he stands still withal.
Right, prithee, who doth he trot withal?
Marry, he trots hard with a young maid between the contract of her marriage and the day to solemnize. Though the interim be but a 7 night, time paces so hard that it seems the length of 7 years.
Who ambles time withal?
With the priest that lacks of Latin, and the rich man that hath not the gout. The one sleeps easily because he cannot study. The other lives merrily because he feels no pain. The one lacking the burden of lean and wasteful learning. The other knowing no burden of heavy, tedious penury. These time ambles withal.
Who doth he gallop withal?
With the thief to the gallows, for though he goeth softly, foot withal, finds himself too soon there.
Who stays it still withal?
The lawyers in the vacation, for they sleep from term to term, and then perceives not how time moves.
Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With this shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like fringe upon a petticoat.
Are you a native of this place?
As the coney you see dwell where she is kindled.
Your accent is something finer than you could purchase in so removed a dwelling.
I have been told so of many, but indeed, an old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak, who was in his youth an inland man, one who knew the court too well. So there he fell in love. Oh, I have heard him read many lectures against it, and I thank God I'm not a woman to be touched with so many giddy offenses as he generally taxes our whole sex withal.
Can you remember any of the principal evils that he laid to the charge of women?
There were none principal. They were all like one another as halfpence are, each one fault seeming monstrous till his fellow fault came to matches.
Right, prithee, recount some of them.
Oh, nay, I will not cast away my physic, but on those that are sick. There's a man haunts this forest, which abuses our young plants with carving Rosalind in their barks, hangs odes upon hawthorns, and elegies on brambles, all forsooth deifying the name of Rosalind. If I could find that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
I am he that is so love-shaped. I pray you tell me your remedy.
There are none of my uncle's marks on you, for indeed he told me how to tell a man in love, in which cage of rushes I'm sure you're no prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not. A blue eye and sunken, which you have not. An unquestionable spirit, which you have not. A beard neglected, which you have not. But I pardon you for that, for your simply having a beard is a younger man's revenue. Then your hose should be ungartered, your bonnet unbanded, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoe untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are rather point device in your own accoutrements, as loving yourself than seeming the lover of any other.
Fair youth, I would I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it. You may as soon make her that you love believe it, which I warrant she's after to do than to confess she does. For this is one of the points in which women give the lie to their consciences. But in good sooth, are you he that hangs the verses on the trees wherein Rosalind so admired?
I swear to the youth, by the white hands of Rosalind, I am that he. That unfortunate he.
But are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness, and I tell you deserves as well a dark house and a whip as madmen do. And the reason they are not so punished and cured is that the lunacy is so ordinary that the whippers are in love too. Yet I profess curing it by some counsel.
Did you ever cure any so?
Yes, one. And in this manner, he was to imagine me his love, his mistress, and I set him every day to woo me, at which time would I, being but a moonish youth, a grieved, be effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, a proud, fantastical, shallow, apish, inconstant, full of tears, full of smiles, for every passion something, and for no passion, truly anything, as boys and women are for the most part cattle of this color, would now like him, now loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, and now weep for him, then spit at him, that I drave my suitor from his mad humor of love to a living humor of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world and live in a nook merely monastic. And thus I cured him. And so will I take it upon me to cure you, and I shall wash your liver as clean as a sound sheep's hud,
There should not be one spot of blood in it.
I would not be cured, youth.
I would cure you. If you would but call me Rosalind and come every day to my court to woo me.
Now, by the faith of my love, I will. Tell me where it is.
Come with me and I will show it you. And by the way, you must tell me where in the forest you dwell. Will you go?
With all my heart, good youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Will you go, sister?
Am I the man yet? Does my simple feature content you?
Your features? Lord Warrantus, what features?
Why, I am here with thee and thy goats, as the most capricious poet, honest Ovid, was among the gods.
Oh, thou the ill inhabited. Where's been Job in a thatched house?
When a man's verses cannot be understood, nor a man's good wit seconded with the forward child understanding, it strikes a man more dead than a great reckoning in a little room. Truly, I would the gods had made thee poetical.
I do not know what poetical is. Is it honest in deed and word? Is it a true thing?
No, truly, for the truest poetry is the most feigning, and lovers are given to poetry. What they swear in poetry, it may be said, as lovers they do feign.
Do you wish then that the gods had made me poetical?
I do truly, for thou swearest to me thou art honest. Now, if thou wert a poet, I might have some hope thou didst feign.
Would you not have me honest?
No, truly, unless thou wert hard favored, or to have honesty coupled to beauty, or to have honey a sauce to sugar.
A material
Well, I am not fair, and therefore I pray the gods make me honest.
Truly, and to cast away honesty upon a foul slut were to put good meat into an unclean dish.
I am not a slut, though I thank the gods I am foul.
Well, praise be the gods for thy foulness! Sluttishness may come hereafter. But be that as it may, I will marry thee, and to that end I have been with Sir Oliver Martex, the vicar of the next village, who hath agreed to meet us in this place in the forest and to couple us.
I would fain see this meeting.
The gods give us joy.
Amen. Man may, if he were fearful of heart, stagger in this attempt, for here we have no temple but the wood, no assembly but the horned beasts. But what though? Courage! As horns are odious, they are necessary. It is said, many a man knows no end of his goods. Right. Many a man has good horns and knows no end of them. Well, that is the dowry of his wife. 'Tis none of his own getting. Horns. Even so. Poor men alone, no, the noblest deer hath them as huge as the rascal. Is the single man therefore blessed? No. As a walled town is more worthier than a village, so is the forehead of a married man more honorable than the bare brow of a bachelor. And by how much defense is better than no skill, by so much is a horn more precious than 2 wands. Here comes Sir Oliver. Sir Oliver Martex, you are well met. Will you dispatch us here under this tree, or shall we go with you to your chapel?
Is there none here to give the woman?
I will not take her a gift of any man.
Truly, she must be given. The wedding is not lawful.
Proceed. I'll give her. Good even, good master. What do you call it? How do you, sir? You are very well met. God, keep for your last company. Even a toy in hand here, sir. Nay, pray, become.
Will you be married, Motley?
As the ox hath his bow, the horse his curve, and the pigeon her bells, so man hath his desires, and as pigeon's bill, wedlock would be nibbling.
And will you, being a man of your birth, be married under a bush, like a beggar? Get you to a church and have a real priest who can tell you what marriage is. This man... This man will but join you as they join wainscot, and one of you will bring a shrunk panel in light green timber. Warp!
I had not in mind, but I were better to be married of him than of another, for he is not likely to marry me well, and not being well married, it will give me a good excuse hereafter to leave my wife.
Go with me and let me counsel thee.
Come apace, good Audrey. We must be married. Oh, we must live in Bawdry. Farewell, Sir Oliver. Not, oh, sweet Oliver, oh, brave Oliver, leave me not behind thee, but wind away. Begone, I say. I'll not to wedding with thee.
'Tis no matter. Ne'er fantastical name of them all shall fall me on my call.
Never talk to me, I shall weep.
Oh, do I prithee? Have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
Have I not good cause to weep?
Good cause as one would desire, therefore weep.
His very hair is of the dissembling color.
Something browner than Judas's. Marry, his kisses are Judas's own children. In faith, his hair is of a good color.
An excellent color.
your chestnut was ever the only color.
And his kissing is as full of sanctity as the touch of holy bread.
He hath bought a pair of calf's lips of Diana, and none of winter's sisterhood kisses not more religiously. The very ice of chastity's in them.
But why did he say he would come this morning and comes not?
Nay, certainly there's no truth in him.
Do you think so?
Yes. I think he's not a pick purse nor a horse dealer, but for his verity and love, I think him as concave as a covered goblet or a worm-eaten nut.
Not true in love.
Yes, when I think he's in, but he's not in.
You heard him swear downright he was.
Was is not is. Besides, the oath of a lover is no stronger than the word of a tapster. They are both the confirmer of false reckonings. He intends here in the forest on the Duke, your father.
I met the Duke yesterday and had much question with him. He asked me of what parentage I was, so I told him as good as he, and he laughed and let me go. But what talk we of fathers when there's such a man as Orlando?
Oh, that's a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, and swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely. Quite traverseth thwart the heart of his lover. As a Weasley tilted that spurs his horse on one side, breaks his staff like a noble goose. But all's fair that youth mounts and folly guides. Who comes here?
Mistress and master, you have often inquired after the shepherd that complained of love, who you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising that proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress. If you will see a pageant truly played, between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little, and I shall conduct you, if you will mark it.
Oh, come, let us remove. The sight of lovers feedeth those in love. Bring us to the sight. And you shall say how I'll prove a busy actor in their play.
Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me, do not, Phoebe. Say that you love me not. Say not so in bitterness. The common executioner, whose heart the accustomed sight of death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humble neck, but first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that dies and lives by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou tellest me there is murder in mine eye. 'Tis pretty sure and very probable that eyes are the frailest and softest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now I do frown on thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes can wound, oh, now let them kill thee. Now, counterfeit to swoon, why now fall down? Or if thou canst not, oh, for shame, lie not to say mine eyes are murderers. Now show me the wound mine eye hath made in thee. Scratch thee but with a pin, and there remains some scar of it. Lean but upon a rush, and the cicatrice incapable in pressure thy palm some moment keeps. But now mine eye, which I have darted at thee, hurts thee not. Nor I'm sure there's no force in eyes that can do hurt.
Oh, dear Phoebe, if ever as that ever may be near, you meet in some fresh cheek, the power of fancy. Then shall you know the wounds that love's keen arrows make.
But till that time, come thou not near me. And when that time comes, afflict me with thy mocks, pity me not, as till that time I shall not pity thee.
And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What though you have no beauty, as by my faith I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed. Must you therefore be proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than the ordinary of nature's stair work. Odds my little life, I think she means to tangle my eyes, too. No! Faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brow, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeball, nor your cheek of cream that can attain my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her like foggy south, puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she is a woman. 'Tis such fools as you as makes the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her, and out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But, mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees and thank heaven, fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you, friendly in your ear, sell when you can, you are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd.
Fare you well, sweet youth. I pray you chide a year together. I would rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He's fallen in love with your foulness, and she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be so, as fast as she answers you with frowning looks, I'll sauce her with bitter words. Why look you so upon me?
For no ill will I bear you.
I pray you, do not fall in love with me. For I'm falser than vows made in wine. Besides, I like you not. If you will know my house, 'tis at the tuft of olives here hard by. Come on, sister. Shepherd, ply her hard. Come, sister. A shepherdess, look on him better. And be not so proud, though all the world could see, none be so abused in sight as he. Come to our flock.
Dead shepherd, now I find thy saw of might. Whoever loved that loved not at first sight.
Phoebe.
What sayest thou, Silvius?
Sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Silvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. If you do sorrow my grief and love, by giving love, your sorrow and my grief were both exterminated.
Thou hast my love. Is not that neighborly?
I would have you.
Why, that were covetousness. Silvius, the time was that I hated thee, and yet it is not that I bear thee love. But since thou canst talk of love so well, thy company, which erst was irksome to me, I will endure, and I'll employ thee too. But do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness that thou art employed.
So holy and so perfect is my love, and I is the poverty of grace, that I shall think it a most precious crop to glean the broken ears after the man that the main harvest reaps. Loose now and then a scattered smile, and that I'll live upon.
Knowest thou the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
Not very well, but I have met him oft, and he hath bought the cottage and the downs that the old Carlisle once was master of.
Think not I love him, no, I ask for him. He's but a peevish boy, yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. He is a pretty youth, not very pretty, but sure he's proud, and yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. He's not very tall, yet for his years he's tall. His leg is but so, and yet 'tis well. There's a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper, more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference betwixt the constant red and mingled damask. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, who would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. And yet I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said my eyes were black and my hair black. And now that I'm remembered, scorned at me. I marvel why I answer not again. But that's all one. Omittance is no quittance. I'll write to him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Silvius?
Phoebe, with all my heart.
I'll write it straight. The matter's in my head and in my heart. I'll be fair with him and passing short. Go with me, Silvius.
I prithee, pretty youth, let me be better acquainted with thee.
They say you are a melancholy fellow.
I am so. I do love it better than laughing.
Why, those that are extremity of either are abominable fellows, and betray themselves to every modern sense are worse than drunkards.
Why, 'tis good to be sad and say nothing.
Why, then 'tis good to be a post.
I have neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, nor the musician's, which is fantastical, nor the courtier's, which is proud, nor the soldier's, which is ambitious, nor the lawyer's, which is politic, nor the lady's, which is nice, nor the lover's, which is all of these, but it is a melancholy of mine own, compacted of many simples, extracted of many objects, and indeed, the sundry contemplation of my travels, which the often rumination wraps me in most humorous sadness.
A traveler! By my faith, you have great reason to be sad. Well, I fear you have sold all your own lands to see other men's, and then to have seen much and have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands.
Yes, I have gained my experience.
And your experience makes you sad. I'd rather have a fool make me merry than experience to make me sad, and to travel for it, too.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
And Nathan, God be with you, and you, talk in blank verse.
Look you this then, wear strange suits, and disable the benefits of your own country, be out of love with your own nativity, and almost chide God for making you the countenance you are. Or else I'll scarce think you have swum in a gondola. Why, how now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while? You, a lover, and you serve me such another trick. Never come in my sight more.
My fair Rosalind, I come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love. Why, he that will divide a minute into 1,000 parts and break but a part of the 1,000th part of a minute in the affairs of love, it may be said that Cupid hath clapped him over the shoulder, but I'll warrant him heart whole.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Nay, you be so tardy. Come no more in my sight. I had as lief be wooed of a snail.
Of a snail?
Aye, a snail. For though he comes slowly, he carries his house on his head. A better jointure, I think, than you make a woman. Besides, he brings his destiny with him.
What's that?
Why, horns, which such as you are fain to be beholding to your wives for. But he comes armed in his fortune, and prevents the slander of his wife.
Virtue is no horn maker, and my Rosalind is virtuous.
I'm your Rosalind.
Please him to call you so, but he hath the Rosalind of a better leer than you.
Come, woo me. For now I am in a holiday humor and like enough to consent. What would you say now, and I were your very, very Rosalind?
I would kiss before I spoke.
Oh, nay, you'd better speak first. And when you were gravelled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss. Very good orators, when they are out, they will spit. And for lovers lacking God warranteth matter, the cleanliest shift is to kiss.
But how if the kiss be denied?
Then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins new matter.
Who could be out being before his beloved mistress?
Marry, that should you if I were your mistress, else I should think my honesty ranker than my wit.
What, out of my suit?
Yet out of your apparel. Yet out of your suit. Am I not your Rosalind?
I take some joy to say you are, because then I'd be talking of her.
Well, in her person I say I will not have you.
Then, in mine own person, I die.
No, faith, die by attorney. The poor world is almost 6,000 years old, and in all this time there was never any man died in his own person. Vitalus is in a love cause. Troilus had his brains dashed out with the Grecian club. Yet he did what he could to die before, and he is one of the patterns of love. Leander would have lived many a fair year had Hero turned none. Had it not been for a hot midsummer's night, for poor youth, he but went forth to wash himself in the Hellespont, and being taken with a cramp was drowned. And the foolish chroniclers of that time found it was Hero of Sestos. But these are all lies. Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not from love.
I would not have my right Rosalind of this mind. If I protest, her frown might kill me.
By this hand, it would not kill a fly. But come, now I will be your Rosalind in a more coming on disposition, and ask me what you will, I will grant it.
Then love thee, Rosalind.
Faith will I, Fridays, Saturdays, and all.
And wilt thou have me?
Why, and 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Are you not good?
I hope so.
Why then, can one have too much of a good thing? Come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hand, Orlando. What do you say, sister?
Pray thee, marry us.
I cannot say the words.
You must begin, will you, Orlando? Go to.
Will you, Orlando, have to wipe this Rosalind?
I will.
Aye, but when?
Why now, as fast as she can marry us.
Then you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I might ask your commission, but I do take thee, Orlando, for my husband. There's a girl goes before the priest, and certainly a woman's thoughts run before her actions.
So do all thoughts are winged.
Now tell me, how long would you have her after you ever possessed her?
Forever and a day.
Say the day without the ever. No, Orlando. Men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. I will be more jealous of thee than a Barbary cock pigeon after his head, more clamorous than a parrot against the rain, more newfangled than an ape, more giddy in my desires than a monkey. I will weep for nothing like Diane in the fountain, and that when thou art disposed to be married. I will laugh like a hyena, and that when thou art inclined to sleep.
But will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she'll do as I do.
Oh, but she is wise.
Well, she could not have the wit to do this. The wiser, the wayworther. Make the doors upon a woman's wit, 'twill out at the casement. Shut that, 'twill out at the keyhole. Stop that, 'twill fly with the smoke up at the chimney.
A man that had a wife with such wit, he might say, wit, whither wilt?
Nay, you might say that check for it till you met your wife's wit going to your neighbor's bed.
And what wit could wit have to excuse that?
Married, to say she came to seek you there. You shall never take her without her answer, unless you take her without her tongue. That woman, they cannot make her fault her husband's occasion. Let her never nurse her child. She will breed it like a fool.
For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I will leave thee.
Oh, alas, I cannot lack thee 2 hours.
I must attend the Duke at dinner. By 2 o'clock, I'll be with thee again.
Aye, go your ways, go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me as much, and I thought no less. That flattering tongue of yours hath won me. And 'tis but one cast away, and so come death. 2 o'clock's your hour.
Aye, sweet Rosalind.
By my troth, and in good earnest, and so God mend me, and by all pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break one jot of your promise or come 1 minute behind your hour, I would think you the most pathetical break promise, the most hollow lover, the most unworthy of her that you call Rosalind, that may be chosen out of a gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore beware my censor and keep your promise.
With no less religion than if thou wert indeed my Rosalind. So adieu.
Well, time is the old justice that examines all such offenders, and let time try. Adieu.
You have simply misused our sex in your love prate. One should have your doublet nose plucked over your head to show the world what the bird hath done to her own nest.
Oh, cuz. Oh, my pretty little cuz, that thou didst know how many fathoms deep I am in love. But it cannot be sounded. My affection hath an unknown bottom, like the Bay of Portugal.
Rather bottomless, that as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out.
No, that same wicked bastard of Venus that was begot of thought, conceived of spleen, and born of madness, that blind rascally boy that abuses everyone's eyes because his own are out, let him be the judge of how deep I am in love. I tell thee, Aliana, I cannot be out of sight of Orlando. I'll go find a shadow and sigh until he comes, and I'll sleep.
Which is he that killed the deer?
Sir, it was I.
Let's present him to the Duke as a Roman conqueror. And it would do well to set the horns upon his head for a branch of victory. Have you no song for us, sir, for this purpose?
Yes, sir.
Sing it! 'Tis no matter how it be in tune, so to make noise enough.
What shall he have that killed the deer?
Kill the deer!
His leather skin and horns to wear. Sing him home. Take thou the horn to wear the horn. It was a crest as thou wast born. Thy father's bore it. Thy father bore it. The horn, the lusty horn, there's nothing to last to scorn. The horn,
past 2 o'clock, and here is much Orlando.
Warned you with pure love and troubled brain. He had taken forth his bows and arrows and is gone forth to sleep.
Here. My errand is to you, fair youth. My gentle Phoebe bid me give you this. I know not the contents, but as I guess by the stern brow and monstrous action which she did use as she was writing of it, it bears an angry tenure. Pardon me, I am but a guiltless messenger.
Why, Patience herself would start out this letter and play the swagger. Bear this, bear all. She says I am not fair, that she could not love me. She calls me proud, and that she could not love me when I am rare and sweet. Odds my will, her love is not the hair that I do hunt. Why writes she so to me? Well, shepherd, well, this is a letter of your own device.
Oh, I protest, I know not the contents. Phoebe did write it.
Come, you are a fool and turned into the extremity of love. I saw her hand. She has a leathern hand, a very free stone-colored hand. Well, I verily did think she had her old gloves on, but 'twas her hands. She has a housewife's hand. But 'tis no matter. I say she never did invent this letter. 'Tis a man's invention, and his name.
Sure it is hers.
'Tis a boisterous and a cruel style, a style for challengers. She defies me as Turk to Christian. Women's gentle brain could not draw forth such giant, rude inventions, such Ethiop words, blacker in their effect than in their countenance. Will you hear the letter?
So please you, for I've never heard it yet heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
She Phoebes me. Mark how the tyrant writes. Art thou God to shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Why, thy Godhead laid apart, warst thou with a woman's heart? Did you ever hear such railing? Whilst the eye of man did woo me, that could do no vengeance to me, meaning me, a beast. If the scorn of your bright eye have power to raise such love in mine, alack in me, what strange effect wouldst they work in mild aspect? Whilst you chid me, I did love. How then might your prayers move? He that brings this love to thee, little knows this love in me, and by him seal up thy mind. Whether that thy youth or kind, will the faithful offer take of me and all that I can make? Or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
Call you this chiding?
Oh, alas, poor shepherd, do you pity him? Why, he deserves no pity. Wilt thou love such a woman? What, to make thee an instrument and play false strains upon thee, not to be endured? But go your way to her, for I see love hath made thee a tame snake. And say this to her, if she love me, I charge her to love thee, and if she will not, I will never have her unless thou entreat for her. If you wish to love her, hence, and not a word. Oh, here comes more company.
Good morrow, fair ones. Pray if you know when the place of this forest stands a sheepcote fenced about with olive trees.
West of this place, down the neighbor bottom. The rank of osiers by the murmuring stream left on your right hand brings you to the place. But at this hour the house doth keep itself. There's none within.
If that and I may profit by tongue, then should I know you by description. Such garments and such years. The boy is fair, of female favor, and bestows himself like a ripe sister. The woman low and browner than her brother. Are you not the owner of the house I did inquire for?
There's no boast being asked to say we are.
Orlando doth come in a few both. After that youth he calls his Rosalind. He sends this bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am, and what may we understand by this?
Some of my shame, if you'll know of me what man I am, and how and why and where this handkerchief was stained.
Oh, I pray you tell it.
When last thing Orlando parted from you, he left a promise to return again within an hour. And pacing through the forest, chewing the food of sweet and bitter fancy, lo, what befell! He threw his eye aside, and mark what object did present itself. Under an oak, whose boughs were muffed with age and high-top bald with dry antiquity, a wretched, ragged man, o'ergrown with hair, lay sleeping on his back. About his neck, a green and gilded snake had wreathed itself, who with her head, nimble and threats, did approach the opening of his mouth. But suddenly, seeing Orlando, it unlinked itself, and with indented glides did slip away into a bush, under which bush's shade a lioness with all udders drawn dry, lay couching, head on ground, when that the sleeping man should stir. For 'tis the royal disposition of that beast to prey on nothing that doth seem as dead. this scene, Orlando did approach the man and found it was his brother, his elder brother.
I have heard of him speak of that same man. He did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
Oh, and well he might so do, for well I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando did he leave him there, food to the sucked and hungry lioness?
Twice did he turn us back and propose so. But kindness nobler ever than revenge, and nature stronger than his just occasion, made him give battle to the lioness, who quickly fell before him, and which hurling from miserable slumber, I awaked.
Are you his brother? Was it you he rescued? Did you so often contrive to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I. I do not shame to tell you what I was, since my conversion so sweetly tastes, being the thing I am.
But to the bloody napkin.
By and by, when from the first to last betwixt us two, tears over countenance had most kindly bathed us how I came into that desert place. In brief, he led me to the gentle Duke, who gave me fresh array and entertainment, committing me unto my brother's love. There stripped himself, and here, upon his arm, the lioness had torn some flesh away, which all this while had bled. And now he fainted, and cried in fainting upon Rosalind. Brief, I recovered him, bound up his wound, and after some small space, being strong at heart, he sent me hither, stranger as I am, to tell you the story, and to give this napkin dyed in his blood unto the shepherd youth that he in sport doth call his Rosalind.
Oh, wait, oh, Ganymede! Sweet Ganymede!
Many will swoon when they look upon blood.
There's more in it. Sweet Ganymede!
Look, he recovers.
When I were at home, we'll lead you thither. Could sir take him by the arm?
You a man? You lack a man's heart.
So I do. Aye, sir, a body would have thought this was well counterfeited. I pray you tell your brother how well I counterfeited. Hey-ho!
This was not counterfeit. There is too great testimony in your complexion that it was a passion of earnest.
Counterfeit, I assure you.
Well then, take a good heart and counterfeit to be a man.
So I do. But in faith, I should have been born a woman by right. You look paler and paler. I pray you draw homeward. Could sir go with us?
That will I, for I must bear answer back about how you answer my brother, Rosalind.
I will devise something. I pray you commend my counterfeiting to him. Here you go.
We shall find a time, Audrey. Patience, gentle Audrey.
The priest was good enough, despite all the old gentlemen say.
A most wicked Sir Oliver, a most vile Martex. But Audrey, there is a youth here in the forest lays claim to you.
I know who it is. He has no interest in me in the world. Here comes the man you mean now.
It is meat and drink to me to see a crowd. By my troth, we that have good wits have much to answer for. We shall be flouting, we cannot hold.
Good evening, Audrey.
Good evening, William.
And good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, gentle friend. Cover your head. Cover thy head. Nay, prithee, be covered. How old are you, sir?
25, sir.
A ripe age. Thy name is William.
William, sir.
A fair name. Was born in the forest here.
Aye, sir, I thank God.
Thank God. A good answer. Art rich?
Faith, sir, so.
So is good. Very good. Very excellent good. And yet it is not. It is but so. Art thou wise?
Aye, sir, I have a pretty wit.
Thou sayest well. I do not remember a saying. The fool doth think he is a wise man, while the wise man knows himself to be a fool. The heathen philosopher, when he had a desire to eat a grape, would open his lips when he put it into his mouth, meaning thereby that grapes were made to eat and lips were made to open. You do love this maiden?
Oh, I do, sir.
Give me that hand. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
And learn this of me. To have is to have, for it is a figure of rhetoric, that drink being poured from a cup into a glass by filling the one doth empty the other. For all your writers do consent that ipse is he. Now you are not ipse, for I am he.
Which he, sir?
He, sir, that must marry this woman. Therefore, you clown, abandon, which in the vulgar is leave, the society which in the boorish is company, of this female, which in the common is woman, which together is abandon the society of this female. O clown, thou perishest, or to thy better understanding, diest. Or to wit, I kill thee, take thee away, translate thy life into death, thy liberty into bondage. I will deal in poison with thee, or in bastinado, or in steel. I will bend thee with thee in faction. I will overrun thee with policy. I will kill thee 150 ways. Therefore, tremble and depart.
Do, good William.
God rest ye merry, sir.
Mistress and master seeks you. Come away, away.
Trip, Audrey. Trip, Audrey. I attend.
Is it possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her? Not but seeing you should love her? And loving woo, and wooing she should grant. And will you persevere to enjoy her?
Neither call the giddiness of it in question, the poverty of her, the small acquaintance, my son wooing, or her son consenting. But say with me, I love Aliena. Say with her that she loves me. Consent with both that we may enjoy each other. It shall be for your good, for my father's house, and all the revenue that was owed to all until I stayed upon you. And here live and die a shepherd.
You have my consent, that your wedding be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duke and all his contented follower. Go you and prepare, Aliena. For look you, here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister.
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see thee wear thy heart in this scarf.
It is my arm.
I thought thy heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you how well I counterfeited his wound when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, greater wonders than that.
Oh, I know where you are. Nay, there was never anything so sudden but the flight of 2 rams in Caesar's personical brag of I came, saw, and overcame. For your brother and my sister no sooner met, but they looked. No sooner looked, but they liked. No sooner liked, but they sighed. No sooner sighed, but they asked one another the reason. No sooner knew the reason, but they sought the remedy. And in these degrees have made themselves a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb incontinent. Or be incontinent before marriage. They are in the very wrath of love, and they will together. Clubs cannot part them.
They shall be married tomorrow, and I'll bid the Duke to the nuptial. But oh, how bitter a thing it is to look into such happiness through another man's eyes. By so much more shall I tomorrow be at the height of heart heaviness, by how much I shall think my brother happy in having what he wishes for.
Why, then tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind.
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you no longer then by idle talk. Know of me then, and now I speak to some purpose, that I know you are a gentleman of good conceit. I speak not this that you may draw a better opinion of my knowledge, inasmuch I say I know you are. Neither do I labor for a greater esteem that may in some little measure draw belief from yourself, to do yourself good and not to grace me. Believe then, if you will, that I can do strange things. I have since I was a 3-year-old conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind so near to your heart as it cries out, when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her? I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it would not be impossible to me, if it appear not inconvenient to you, to set her here before your eyes, human as she is, without any danger.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
Ah, my life I do, which I tender dearly, though I say I'm a magician. Therefore, put you in your best array. Bid your friends, for if you'll be married tomorrow, you shall. It's Rosalind, if you will. Look you, who comes here? A lover of mine and a lover of hers.
You have done me much ungentleness to show the letter I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You are there, followed by a faithful shepherd. Look on him, love him. He worships you.
Good shepherd, tell this youth what 'tis to love.
It's made of sighs and tears, and so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
I for no woman.
It's made of faith and service, and so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is made of fantasy, all made of passion, all made of wishes, all adoration, duty and observance, all humbleness, all patience, all impatience, all purity, all trial, all obedience, and so am I for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
That no woman.
If this be so, so, then why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Why do you speak to? Why blame you me to love you?
To her that is not here, nor doth not here.
Pray you no more of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I could. Tomorrow meet me all together. I will marry you if ever I marry woman. And I'll be married tomorrow. I will satisfy you if ever I satisfied man. And you shall be married tomorrow. I will content you if what pleases you contents you. And you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind, meet. As you love Phoebe, meet. And as I love no woman, I'll meet. Therefore, fare you well. I have left you all command.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
Tomorrow is the joyful day, Audrey. Tomorrow will we be married.
Oh, I do desire it with all my heart, but I hope it is no dishonest desire to be a woman of the world.
I do believe, and sometimes do not. As those that fear they hope and know they fear.
Patience once more while our compact is urged. You say if I bring in your Rosalind, you will bestow her on Orlando here.
That's would I had I kingdoms to give with her.
And you say you'll have her when I bring her.
Would I, were I of all kingdoms king.
You say you'll marry me if I be willing.
That will I, should I die the hour after.
But if you do refuse to marry me, you'll give yourself to this most faithful shepherd.
So's the bargain.
You say you'll have Phoebe if she will.
So to her and death were both one thing.
I have promised to make all this matter even. Keep your word, O Duke, to give your daughter. You yours, Orlando, to receive his daughter. Keep your word, Phoebe, that you'll marry me, or else refuse me to wed this shepherd. Keep your word, Sylvius, that you'll have Phoebe. And from hence I go to make all these matters even.
I do remember in the shepherd voice some lively touches of my daughter's favor.
My lord, the first time that I ever saw him, methought you were the brother to your daughter. But my good lord, this boy is Forestborn, and hath been tutored in many desperate studies by his uncle, whom he reports to be a great magician obscured in the circle of this farm.
And there is sure another flood towards, and these couples are coming to the ark. Here comes a pair of very strange beasts, in which all tongues are called.
Salutation, and greeting to you all.
Good my lord, bid him welcome. This is the motley-minded gentleman I've so oft met in the forest. He hath been a courtier, he swears.
If any man doubt that, let him put me to my purgation. I have trod a measure. I have flattered a lady. I have been politic with my friend, smooth with mine enemy. I have had 4 quarrels, undone 3 tailors, and like to have fought more. And how is that saying up? Faith, sir, we met and found the quarrel was upon the 7th cause.
How 7th cause? Good my lord, like this fellow.
I like him very well. God ilge you, sir, I desire you of the like. I press in here, sir, amongst the rest of the country copulatives, to swear and to forswear, according as marriage binds and blood breaks. A poor virgin, sir, an ill-favored thing, but mine own. A poor humor of mine, sir, to have that no man else will, which honesty dwells like a miser in your poorhouse, as your pearl in your foul oyster.
By my faith, he's very swift and sententious.
According to the fool's bolt and such dulcet disease.
But for the 7th cause, how did you come to quarrel upon the 7th cause?
Upon a lie 7 times removed. Beg your body more seeming, Audrey. As thus. I did dislike the cut of a certain courtier beard. He sent me word, if I was in a mind his beard was not cut well, he was in a mind it was. This is called the retort courteous. If again I sent him word his beard was not cut well, he would send me word he cut it to please himself. This is called the quip modest. If again it was not well cut, he disabled my judgment. This is called the reply churlish. If again it was not well cut, he would answer I spake not true. This is called the reproof valiant. If again it was not well cut, he would say I lied. This is called the counter-check quarrelsome. And so to the lie circumstantial, the lie direct.
And how oft did you say his beard was not well cut?
I durst go no further than the lie circumstantial, nor durst he not give me the lie direct. So we measured swords and parted.
Can you now nominate in order the degrees of the lie?
Oh, sir, we quarrel in print, by the book, as you have books for good manners. I will now name you the degrees. First, the retort courteous. The second, the quip modest. The third, the reply churlish. The fourth, the reproof valiant. The fifth, the counter-check quarrelsome. The sixth, the lie with circumstance. And the 7th, the lie direct. Oh, these you may avoid with the lie direct, and you may avoid that too, but with an if. I knew when 7 justices could not take up a quarrel, but when the parties were not themselves, one of them thought but of an if, as if you said so, then I said so, and they shook hands and swore brothers. Your if is your only peacemaker. Much virtue in if.
This is not a rare fellow, my lord. He's as good at anything, and yet a fool.
He uses his folly like a stocking horse, and under the presentation of that he shoots his wit.
That is their birth in heaven when earthly things made even a toast. You received our daughter. Heaven from heaven brought her. Yea, brought her hither that thou mightst join her hand with him, whose heart within his bosom is.
You, I give myself, for I'm yours. You, I give myself, for I'm yours.
There be truth in sight. You are my daughter.
There be truth in sight. You are my Rosa.
If sight and shape be true, why then, my love, adieu.
I'll have no father if you be not he. I'll have no husband if you be not he. Nor never wed woman if you be not she.
Peace, ho! I'm out of confusion. 'Tis I must make conclusion of these most strange events. Here's 8 that must take hands to join in Harmon's band. If truth holds true content, you and you no cross shall part. You and you are heart and heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman to your lord. You and you are sure together like the winters of foul weather. Well, the weather we ourselves the questioning, that reason wonder may diminish, how thus we met, and these things finish.
Oh, my dear niece, welcome thou art to your daughter, welcome in no less degree.
I will not eat my words. Now thou art mine. Thy faith, my fancy to thee doth combine.
Let me have audience for a word or two. I am the second son of old Sir Roland that brings these tidings to this fair assembly. The Duchess, hearing how that every day men of great worth resort to this forest, for just a mighty power which went foot in her own conduct, purposely to take her brother here and put him to the sword. And to discourage this wild wood she came where, meeting with an old religious man, after some questioning with him, was converted both from her enterprise and from this world, where crowned bequeathed to her banished brother, and all their land returned to them again who were with him exiled. This be true, I know indeed.
Welcome, young man. Thou offers fairly to thy brother's wedding. To one his lands withheld, and to the other a land itself at large, a potent dukedom. First, here in this forest, let us do those ends that here were well begun and well begot. And after having this happy number that have endured shrewd days and nights with us, shall share the good of our returned fortune according to the measures of their states. Meantime, forget this new-fallen dignity and fall into our rustic revelry. Play music, and you brides and bridegrooms all with measure heaped in joy to the measures fall.
Sir, by your patience. If I heard you rightly, the Duchess hath put on religious life, thrown into neglect the pompous court.
She has.
To her will I. Out of these convertites, there is much matter to be heard and learned. You, dear former honor, I bequeath. Your patience and your virtue well deserves it. You to a love that your true faith doth merit. You to your land and love and great allies. You to a long and well-deserved bed. And you to wrangling. For thy loving voyage is but for 2 months finished. So, to your pleasures! I am dressed with dancing measures.
Stay, Jake, we stay.
To see no pastime I. What you'd have all stay to know it, your abandoned cave.
Proceed, proceed. We will begin these rites as we do trust the lend in true delights.
It is not the fashion to see the lady, the epilogue, but it is no more handsome than to see the lord, the prologue. If it be true that good wine needs no bush, 'tis true that a good play needs no epilogue. Yet to good wine they do use good bushes, and good plays prove all the better with the help of good epilogues. What a case am I in, then, that am neither a good epilogue nor can insinuate with you on behalf of a good play. I am not furnished like a beggar, therefore to beg would not become me. My way is to conjure you. And I'll begin with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to men, to like as much of this play as please you. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, as by your simpering I perceive none of you hates them, that between you and the women the play may please. If I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you as had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, and breaths that defied me not. And I am sure as many of you as have good beards, or good faces, or sweet breaths, will for my kind offer, when I make courtesy, bid me farewell.